What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory lifestyle. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now.
Okay.
And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me.
Right.
I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do that.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we even thought, why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. So if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes the black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you hit it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not gonna walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm gonna provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband and stuff like that.
Yo, what it is? Another day, another podcast. Speak on It podcast 2K24. I am your host, DJ Black. And it's been interesting. We got a nice little topic tonight. For better or for worse, for richer or for poor? Or is it just simply for what's best for right now? And there are a lot of mixed reviews on that topic. We're going to tackle it tonight, as many people want to know. A lot of people falling in love. And if you're paying attention to social media, you have to ask yourself these days, is it the most wise thing to do? Is it a business? Is it a business proposition? Do you have to think about that before you even attempt to do it? Is it worth it today? Is getting married even worth it today? Do people still want to get married today? Or is just living together, providing together the thing? You know, with poly and all that going on, I mean, are marriages beginning to be a thing of the past? Those are some of the questions we'll be tackling tonight on the Speak On It podcast 2K24. But before I get into the juicy details and everything with the topic, y'all know with me being hip hop, I got to come with some news. No, I got to come with some hip hop news. You know what I'm saying? With me being hip hop, and last week's hip hop show was off the chain. So if you missed it, go watch the replay. It was up. But yeah. You know I got to come with a little hip hop news before I dive into that topic. Okay. Everybody know that Drake has been the most trending topic. But Chris Brown and Quavo kind of quietened the Drake down for a second. And they had a little beef thing of their own. Quavo and Chris Brown. So we're gonna get into that also. But before I get into the Quavo Chris Brown beef, we're supposed to be over their exes. Who they're currently dating their exes, Chris Brown's baby mama, Sweetie, you know, and like I said on last week's podcast, if they beefing over females, somebody mess with somebody, baby mama and ex-girlfriend, I'm like, especially now that it's a sex society, what difference does it make? I'm sure anybody who has a baby mama, if she's above the age of 13, 14, 15, she done got hit by somebody else. So I don't see what's the big idea of these two grown-ass men making diss records over who hit who female. That sounds like talk on a middle school playground, a sophomore lunch table. It just don't sound like two grown-ass men over the age of 30. You know. But let's see. But before I get into their beef, Kanye called himself putting out a track. And when I tell you that track sucked, it sucked bad. And you have a lot of Drake has a lot of haters. Okay, Drake put out this tailor-made freestyle where he used the AI voice of Tupac and the AI voice of Snoop, and he had them rapping a conversation as if they were talking to Kendrick, telling him to come on out and say something. Let me see if I can find the hold on. That's Snoop. Okay. So he did his AI voice and imitated the late great Tupac, rest in peace, and Snoop. Okay. So the Drake haters, oh man, that's messed up. He using the West Coast to diss each other. It wasn't a diss. They were saying in the song, it was just basically saying they were having a conversation like, Kendrick, where you at? You supposed to be the West Coast savior. Come out, rip this. He was dissing himself, rip this light-skinned Canadian kid up. You know, you the king now. You know, come out and do your thing. It's basically what they were saying. And so they're waiting on Kendrick to respond as the world is waiting. And so everybody keeps saying, well, Drake took forever. No, Drake was throwing subliminals. What Drake and Kendrick were doing throughout the beef since like 2015 or something like that, from Kendrick's song Control, they were throwing slangs at each other back and forth. So it's not a Drake took forever to respond. It's just a lot of Drake haters out there. I don't know whether it's because he's light skinned, whether it's because Quint Miller leaked some reference tracks, which I explained that on last week's episode. So y'all really need to check out last week's episode because it's going to catch you up with what I say, what's going on. But Drake has a lot of haters out there. So it's kind of like on TikTok, they had it 20 versus 1, and there's one person stand there, and the different guys or females will come out, and they'll say whether they're gonna go out on a date with them or choose them to be a mate or not. It's like a 20 versus 1. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Kanye decides he wanted to step in the beef, and I'm a Kanye fan. I was. But as of late, the beat is dope. The beat that Kanye caught himself remixing with that Metro Boomin did for the Like That track, he calls it a so-called remix. But when I listen to the lyrics, it's un-Kanye.
It's a rap for niggas. Where's Lucien? Serve your master, nigga. You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you? Lifetime deal, I feel bad for niggas. Y'all so out of sight, out of mind. I can't even think of a Drake line. Play J. Cole, get the pussy dry. Play this shit back 130 times.
I mean, garbage. But then the Drake haters hyping it up. Oh man, Kanye went off. No, he didn't. The college dropout, if you look at college dropout Drake, Kanye, that is nowhere near Watch the Throne Kanye. Kanye should have just stayed out of it. He inserted himself in the Drake beef because all of them are hating on Drake. Number one, he got his business plan. Even Rick Ross, when he came out, I like his moves, but he never had a fight in school. Okay, so what? You know what I'm saying? Everybody, I know tons of people that never had a fight in school, so that don't give them stripes or take no stripes away. I mean, everybody you went to school with didn't have a fight. It's just that. Some of you can count the number of people and still be on one hand of the people who actually fought at school. But it's like he getting all his masters, and he got a deal where a lot of artists, kind of like what Michael Jackson had before they got rid of him. Michael was able to get royalties and pay off of a lot of artists that was affiliated with Sony. Drake has a deal similar to that. Plus, he's getting all his masters. So all of these other rappers are basically hating because of that, and then he didn't hit one or two of they women or whatever, and it's just let's take down Drake, you know. So with that being said, 50 Cent, always, y'all already know, decided to chime in on the track, the Tailor-Made track, where he used the AI Tupac and AI Tupac and Snoop voice, okay? So he posted this, and I'm gonna tell y'all what the haters said. Hold on.
What I'm about to say is not.
All right, let me go back to my regular clips. Hold on, y'all. Okay, this is what 50 Cent posted. 50 Cent was basically saying in his post that leave Drake alone, because 50 Cent did this before. 50 Cent battled like 15, however, he called out a whole bunch of rappers. And so he reminiscing on when he did that. So he was like, leave this, you know, y'all need to leave it alone. From an expert opinion on this matter, he was like, leave this man alone. I've seen this movie before. It will not end well. Then he said, if you disagree, then where is your shit? Where your shit at, boy? Okay, so they went on, the Drake haters went on to try to say, oh man, 50 Cent called out Drake, threatening Drake because he used Tupac voice. Man, that was wrong. No, he wasn't. If you read, it says, if you disagree, then where is your shit? Where is your shit at, boy? So Drake music is out there. Drake disses is out there, you know, are out there. He's asking Kendrick, if you disagree, then where is your shit at, boy? He wouldn't be saying that to Drake, but the Drake haters just kind of like interpreting when people try to interpret the Bible to make it relate to what they want it to relate to. 50 is talking to Kendrick and all the ones. He was like, leave him alone, because Drake is in a zone right now. So he's like, leave that man alone. He done seen it happen, because 50 Cent did the same thing. He done seen this movie before, and it's not going to end well. You know, because 50 Cent actually bodied a lot of MCs, managers, records, producers. He just went off on, you know, everything, everybody, record execs, you know. So that's what he was saying. He wouldn't be asking where your shit at, boy, if he was talking to Drake, because Drake is constantly putting out things. So he's just saying that the guy is hot right now, and y'all need to leave him alone. And then they come with, let's see, hold on. All right, let's see, hold on. I thought it was, I did the wrong one. And then they was like, Tupac people mad. Then they tried to say that Snoop was mad. Snoop mad because he used his voice. But actually, this is Snoop's response to Drake using his AI voice. Now, keep in mind with the AI, Drake wrote as if he was Tupac and wrote as if he was Snoop, and used their AI voices and put on the track. And then he came in on the third verse and finished out the track. This was Snoop's reaction, where everybody was saying Snoop was mad.
They did what? When? How? Are you sure? Y'all have a good night. And to all. Why off? Everybody calling my phone, blowing me up. What the fuck? What happened? What's going on? I'm going back to bed. Good night.
You know what I'm saying? So the hating just needs to stop. At what point do they say, well, Drake just doing his thing? He's proven himself to be the man. He's taking out everybody by himself. 50 Cent seemed to be on his side. Snoop ain't tripping over the AI track because it wasn't a diss. They just saying, come on out. Where you at? You supposed to be the new West Coast savior, but yet you letting this Canadian light-skinned, guy shut you up, got you in hiding. Come on out. That's basically what the track was about. And so like I say, Kanye inserted himself in there, and he shouldn't have done that. That was the worst fucking shit I think Kanye ever did. Trying to be a part of the beef, And then now you got the Chris Breezy and Quavo. Okay. Now, did I upload that one? But now they're beefing. Hold on, let me see that I got that. And it's supposedly over a female. And I don't get it. And what they're saying is Chris Brown put out a tweet after Quavo's last response because the track hit kind of hard. It was a cool track, and they're saying that they thinking Quavo may even use this as a single. And then they say Chris Brown kind of waved the flag and was like, Quavo is a better rapper. But the media was actually giving the victory to Chris Brown. He just happened to tweet that Quavo was better. So I'm like, okay. So he kind of bowed out, did like the J. Cole thing, and kind of bowed out. And artists need to stop doing that. Stand on what you put out. Just stand on it. But like I say, I feel like J. Cole, and I said this on the previous hip hop podcast, J. Cole bagged out of the beef because his album coming out and that track was hella weak. Lyrics was tight, but that damn track was weak. So that's why I feel like he bowed out of it. But yeah, they're beefing over a female. Supposedly, the baby mamas, the girlfriend, Chris Brown supposedly is smash sweetie. And so, that's just, like I said, that's some elementary, middle school crap that grown men doing. So that's just ignorant to me. So my personal opinion on it. But I think my guests are coming on. So it's time for me to dive into the topic of okay, top of the hour. So at the top of the hour is when we dive into the show. So we go over the topic. Austin, what's happening with you? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? I don't hear you. Say something. I think when I went out, I messed something up. So hold on a minute. Stay on. I'm gonna try to exit the stream and come back. Hold up. Add to stage. Say something now, Austin. Damn. Okay. Stay on. I'm gonna go out. Let's see. Yes, I'm gonna remove myself from the stage. All right. Yeah, I still can't hear you, but I see you. I done went all the way out. I done came back. Still can't hear you. But let's see. Turn my volume up. Man, let me play something and see can I hear something. Hold on. Then I'll know if it's me. Hold up. Let's see. Yeah, I hear that. So redo your mic, because that's rare for it to be you. But redo your mic.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. All right. Okay. All right. So this went viral, which is what sparked this topic tonight. This little heifer here went viral. Husband lost his job. She messed around, you know what I'm saying, ready to get out the relationship because he lost the job. So that's for the better off for worse, the richer off for poor. And that's why I say, or is it just what's best for right now in the marriages today? Because there aren't lasting, there's more divorces than anything. And for those who don't know what's going on with that photo, the husband lost his job and his wife went and I think she said she gave him 30 days to get a job. He didn't get the job. She went out, she messed around, messed over him and all that. But here's a brief summary on what happened.
Hey, y'all. So I know I had made a previous post, a few weeks back regarding how we don't take marriage seriously. People are jumping in and out of marriages. Well, I have found a recent example of what this looks like. So this lady right here is pretty much made a post on Facebook regarding about leaving her husband because he had lost his job. According to her, she did not agree to marry a man who would eventually become broke. And in that sentiment, that means you don't really prepare for what life can throw at you, right? Because there's just some certain things are just out of your control. Like, let's think about COVID. A lot of people were out of work. It was out of their control. She is willing to divorce her husband because he lost his job, and she feels like because she is a beautiful woman, she doesn't deserve to deal with a man who can no longer provide in the manner that they had agreed upon at the beginning of the marriage. So here's the post where she's pretty much specifying why she's making the decision that she did, why she made that previous announcement. She said, I came home from work and my husband told me he lost his job. I really tried to be a good wife and hold things down for about 30 days. So you only tried to be a good wife for 30 days. 30 days. Jesus Christ, y'all. I was tired of being the man of the house, so I went out with his friend, and one thing led to the next. His friend cashed out on me and showed me an amazing time. I missed being treated like a woman, and had my husband not lost his job, this wouldn't have happened. He's calling me a cheater, but his job as a man was to provide. I was not wrong, and I refuse for him and his family to tarnish my name.
And what's your way in on that? You know what I'm saying? He lost his job. She went out with his friend. So I don't think that was a friend, but she went out with his so-called friend. One thing led to another. She slept with the friend. And basically because the friend showered her with gifts and money, you deserve better. If you were mine, I'll do this, the lines. And he showered her with it, and now she's ready to end her whole marriage because he lost his job. So let me hear you weigh in on that. What's your thoughts on that, man? What do you think?
Well, I mean, that just goes to show what she got into the relationship for. It wasn't based on uh, emotions. It was based on what he could do for her at that particular time. And so I don't know if he knew what he was getting into, but in most cases, you can tell the type of woman that you have. So if you choose to continue with that relationship, that's on you. But um, you know, what I've learned is for better or for worse means that if you fall on worse, then they take on the better, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Hmm.
So as long as it's benefiting you and you are the one that's doing worse, then it's fine. But when that other person is doing when they're at the worst, then you choose to move on because it's not benefiting you to assist in helping this person regroup, regain what they had, and giving them time to find another job in this situation, another job, or even if they had become sick or depressed or anything of that nature. You're not allowing them to get better, do better, or be better. So you're for worse. There isn't
That's
one.
a sad situation. So you're saying that you think he knew what he was getting into. You don't think she changed,
Well,
possibly?
no, not her, not her, because I mean, just by some of her comments, I just feel that she was always this way. That she was always this, I
Felt
look
threatened.
good. Yeah, I look good, so somebody gonna trick on me. You know what I'm saying? So,
But why go through the ceremony? Why go through, that
because it's
leading to
still
that date? And you know what it takes: the anxiety, the money, the anticipation leading up to the altar.
well, that doesn't mean that she didn't want to project a picture of perfect. Her wedding probably was a lot of money. I'm assuming.
Mm.
Because she appears to be the type of person that wants to be braggadocious, flamboyant, um, show offish, grandiose. So that that wedding could have been the bomb.com
But I'm
because that's
saying,
what she wanted to display. She still wanted to she still wanted to display that look, I am good because I got this dude, he got this job, he's making money, he's spending it on me, and I am better than you.
showing out in front of her
Yeah,
peers, her friends.
exactly.
I mean,
So
on true, I hate to see. I really do. I hate that. And I don't even know the dude, but I hate to see or hear about situations because men men love different than women. Okay, and with me knowing that now with wisdom, um, when a man settles down, when a man is willing to marry, um, he's serious about what he's doing. You know what I'm
not
saying? Real
necessarily.
men don't just pause and say, I'm just gonna marry. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
some of them
I'm just
do.
gonna grab somebody and marry them. No, no.
Now, they don't just grab somebody, but they do for whatever reasons that they may have at that particular time. It could be, hey, I don't want nobody else to have her. It could be, hey, she's the best looking thing I've ever had. Hey, it could
So
be a number of different reasons. Hey, so I'm marrying her so I can settle down and stop being in these streets. There are a lot of reasons that men, or hell, they could be broke themselves and see that woman as a meal ticket the way things go these days. But
yeah,
you know,
but
one
on his thing, she was saying he was the main one. And then I think about Drake's song, Come and Rescue Me. Take me out the club, take me out the trap, take me out the market. You need to check that out. It's Come and Rescue Me by Drake. Um, and he's just trying to, like you just said, get out of the streets. So
right,
that makes sense because I didn't see it like that. I just look at a lot of times I relate to us or me, um, being a real man who don't need a woman for nothing. Um, And if I decide this is going to be my forever love, I'm going to handpick and I'm going to, wife her. It's like, and that's what I did. I didn't get into the marriage is a business thing because I'm going to always make sure I'm able to take care of myself. The lifestyle I want to live, I'm going to make sure I'm able to provide the lifestyle I want to live. And whomever I bring on, just share that lifestyle. And if they bring more money to the table and she wants extra, we'll enhance the lifestyle. But as far as, like you said, I know a few too. I spoke on it previous podcast. This guy married a woman because she was a nurse, and he was like, hell, women do it all the time. Why can't we? And this guy too, but he married her. She a nurse, and he was like, hell, they marry us for stability, so why can't we marry them for stability? And these days now, and this was way back, this was early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s when this happened. Mid 2000s. But anyway, when he said that, it was a let us do what they do. And so I kind of felt where he was coming from, but he'd been catching hell because when you do that, these days you set yourself up. In today's time, they're saying it takes two incomes. So men are, the modern day men, I feel like may be looking at that differently, saying right now I'm making 100,000, but if I get with her and she's making 80,000, that's 180,000. So let us get together and do this thing, and we can be 200,000, people plus, you know what I'm saying? So nowadays they view things differently. But when we were growing up, watching granddad and pops and just regular men in general, and uncles, neighbors, them men got out there, they went to the mills, they made the bread, and if the woman worked at nursing homes or hospitals or State Farm, Chase, it was just extra income where they would buy dishwashing liquid, the toilet tissue, keep gas in the car. They might help with the having electric, but it wasn't mandatory for that woman to contribute per se to the household. Now, if she wanted a more fancier car, if she wanted more extravagant furniture, that's where her money came in at. But as far as the keeping the lights on, keeping the gas if you have gas, keeping the water running, paying the car note, paying the mortgage, that man pretty much took care of that. You see what I'm saying? But these days, the men are into the 50-50s. And if we get together, shit, you making 120,000, I'm making 140,000, man, we get together, you know what I'm saying? And we gonna be good, you know what I'm saying? And then he's stunting with his on his friends, she's stunting on her peers, and they living, they living the life. That's what goes on today. So for her, she looks like she's probably one of the modern day. I give her 23, 25, roughly 28 at the most. If that, more around the 25. But when they said married, that's what made me boost her age up a little bit. Probably 28, bench pressing 30. What you think?
I push her into late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah. With that,
I'll probably push her into late 20s, early 30s.
Now let me ask you this: from your experience,
yeah,
and you have a lot of experience when it comes to dating and marriage, and you've tried different techniques from what I understand. Um, you tried them all. you went from marrying for love, marrying for finance, marrying for education. It's like, okay, so what did you learn from that, and which one you feel is the best? Because I understand them all. I understand the business side of it, and this is my first rodeo. You know what I'm saying? I understand the business side. I understand loving them. I understand companionship. You know what I'm saying? I understand all of it. But which do you feel? Because it's mixed. Majority of the people saying you need to marry for it need to be a business. You get all that love shit out the window. You can't survive off love. And love don't pay the bills. We heard that in Better Right. Love don't pay bills. And then like, so which one do you feel? It's to each his own. But from your experience with the marriages and the dating, which one you feel from your personal perspective was the best move? Is the better move for a long-term healthy marriage? And I know I'm kind
I
of putting you
feel
on the
that you
spot,
should
but
marry some. No, you good. I don't mind being on the spot. The thing is, you should marry someone that you have, that you are in love with, that's your friend, that you feel is your best friend, that whatever happens, you're still going to be there no matter what. That also share the same life goals that you have. You have to have like or similar goals in life to go along with the emotions that you have for the person. Because if you're an ambitious person and your other person is just, hey, I'm just here. I don't have. I mean, I'm okay with being a housewife, or I'm okay with being a house dad and just stay with the kids, and you know, if that's not something that excites you, and then it's not going to work. There are several factors that 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 you have to connect in order to have a viable relationship and a viable marriage. And again, but you cannot take out the element of love, like friendship.
well,
You have to
statistics
have those
say,
elements in there for you to have a
well, okay, so what if your person is going through a rough patch? They just lost their job. They're on the rebound. Um,
okay.
they're certified. They went to
Okay.
college. They know what job they want, and they're not just going to accept McDonald's or Chase or nothing. They want to be in their profession, and you meet them, and they are down on their luck. They're living off of the savings and the kickback from losing the job. You know how you invested in short-term, long-term
Yeah,
disability, all that. You got all that. Plus,
you can have your severance
yeah.
package
So they
and
living
yeah.
off of that. And they're 3 months in and haven't chosen a job. Now they're getting applications. They put in applications and they're getting a couple of offers, but they want to be in their field. So if they're paralegal, they want to do something paralegal. They're not going to drop from paralegal to go into house insurance, hazard insurance at Chase. So how do you work with
They probably
that?
pay around the same amount. Well, again,
I see
so
the ambition, but
what's motive?
you need a job, right?
I mean, yeah, what again? Yeah, what's motivating you to just want to be in that particular field? We have
They
bills
went to
that need to.
school for it.
And
They
one
paid all
thing
that
that
money.
your one thing no one thing that your significant other that is really into it with you for the long haul, what they're not going to do is allow you all to suffer for a selfish um for something
Feel
selfish of
right.
having to try to find someone of trying to find a job in their field because sometimes that's not likely. Most people do not work in the field that they graduated with their degree from. A lot of people
Right.
don't. So and it's good to be versatile and in your versatile with your job skills so you can change lanes if need be because it'll be simple. And I know right now in this economy, $50,000 is not a lot of money, but it's an amount that could help contribute to whatever the other person is making. So, say if you're at $100,000, or $70,000, or $80,000, you lose your job, then there's another job that's out there that you can immediately get that's starting you off at 50.
60,000.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I take this $50,000 job. Yeah, I take this job, and but that's not going to stop me from looking. You see what I'm saying? I can
Yeah.
still seek those, other jobs with that are at higher pay, but I'm gonna
Okay.
take this one so I can do what I need to do.
Okay. Now, in this scenario with her, she gave him 30 days. He didn't find a job in 30 days. And then so she decided to step out on him. Um, how do you feel about the 30 days, the 30-day rule? Did that show that he didn't have the ambition? I mean, you don't want to just turn your, I mean, she's wrong per se. She's wrong altogether because she was married. You feel what I'm saying? That's the only reason that I say she's wrong. But 30 days and he's not working. I don't know. I mean, as a man, we understand 30 days and that's your wife and she lost her job. I understand that. But she said she was man of the house for a month, meaning she had to take out of her money that she probably bought lashes, weave, lace fronts, got her nails did. She had to take that money and put into the house, which she wasn't satisfied. She wasn't comfortable doing that. She didn't want to do that. So in 30 days, she was a good wife, she said, for 30 days, and she got tired of being man in the house. So she decided to step out on it because she felt like she looked good enough to go out there and get a man to spend money on. So with all of that being said, what fault would you place on the husband? 30 days now, no job, and
Well, I mean, I don't.
realistically speaking now,
Well, I
come on,
mean,
that
of course, we don't know the. I mean, right? I mean, we don't know everything about that situation. We don't know. I don't know what state they were in, what city they were in, what the job market looks like, what his skills are. But to go 30 days without a job, I mean, that's not unusual.
okay. In today's
Hopefully, he didn't get terminated to a point where he's not. Yeah, hopefully he didn't get terminated where he wasn't collecting unemployment. You know, so that that could have been coming in. It's not enough to do anything with, but it's enough to pay some bills and trying to keep things going. What
but
they could
according to
have been
her,
doing or should have been doing was, of course, go ahead.
no, according to her rant, wasn't no money coming in. She had to step up and start paying everything herself.
Well, I don't.
And and that's why.
Well, I mean, well, what if there
It
was no
really
money coming in? Okay, so there's no money coming in for
him.
So what? So she wasn't working.
Yeah, she was working.
Was she not working? I don't know that part either. I don't know if she wasn't working.
It sounded like she had a job because she said she got tired of being
if she has a job. If she had a job, then your position as a spouse is to be a helpmeet. So help me meet this, help me meet that. You know, when I'm down, you help you cover that part. You help cover that part. You help cover me. I help cover you. We cover each other. And well, I mean, so she got tired, but she didn't get tired to go work her inner thighs. You know. So you wasn't too tired. If you got time to go, work them hips.
She got tired of spending her own money. Hold on, we gotta watch it one more time. Hold on.
Hey, y'all. So I know I had made a previous post, a few weeks back regarding how we don't take marriage seriously. People are jumping in and out of marriages. Well, I have found a recent example of what this looks like. So this lady right here is pretty much made a post on Facebook regarding about leaving her husband because he had lost his job. According to her, she did not agree to marry a man who would eventually become broke. And in that sentiment, that means you don't really prepare for what life can throw at you, right? Because there's just some certain things that are just out of your control. Like, let's think about COVID. A lot of people were out of work. It was out of their control. She is willing to divorce her husband because he lost his job, and she feels like because she is a beautiful woman, she doesn't deserve to deal with a man who can no longer provide in the manner that they had agreed upon at the beginning of the marriage. So here's the post where she's pretty much specifying why she's making the decision that she did, why she made that previous announcement. She said, I came home from work and my husband told me he lost his job. I really tried to be a good wife and hold things down for about 30 days. So you only try to be a good wife for 30 days. 30 days. Jesus Christ, y'all. I was tired of being the man of the house, so I went out with his friend, and one thing led to the next. His friend cashed out on me and showed me an amazing time. I missed being treated like a woman, and had my husband not lost his job, this wouldn't have happened. He's calling me a cheater, but his job as a man was to provide. I was not wrong, and I refuse for him and his family to tarnish my name.
It's sad, but it's funny at the same time because she feels so privileged. Now, from re-listening to that, do you think he the reason she felt privileged? Because from what I'm getting, because sometimes you just like in the intro, George was saying you can love someone too much. He probably put her on this pedestal, shivering it down, made her feel like she was the best thing since sliced bread. And the minute he wasn't able to do that, that's why them old guys that I used to listen to, even TK Soul and them, whether it was Sir Charles, TK Soul, one of them, you can't start something that you can't keep up. So that's why when I got into my serious dating, I didn't go to these expensive ass restaurants. I think with the wife, our first official eating date, she got some free food from McDonald's from her sister. I'm not gonna go to no expensive ass restaurant, spend $200, $100 my plate, $100 her plate, because if you get that wrong woman, you get that wrong person, they're gonna expect you to keep doing that. And if you can't keep doing something, don't start it. And I've seen many guys fail at keeping up with what they were doing when they first met, when they got together and shit got real with them meeting bills, having kids, uh, paying rent or mortgage, having to get another vehicle because that one broke down. He wasn't able to take her out every other week to that Ruth Chris or whatever the expensive restaurant is downtown in your area. He wasn't able to do that, but to impress her when they first got together, he started doing that. So if you don't start nothing you can't keep up. And the way the world is today, shit can happen. Shit can happen. And you can't provide, you can't do it. And then what? You fall in the same situation that fella fell in.
No,
So
the
I
thing
think it's
is,
his fault. I think it's his fault.
the thing is, you as an adult with an adult mind and adult thinking, you have to have realistic knowledge of the world. You, yeah, because spending here and there, whining and dining, doing this and that, that at some point in time, that could possibly come to an end because of whatever, lost job, sickness,
Now she's sitting around the
overspending.
house mad and depressed with her mouth poked out because she tired of sitting in the house and she tired of eating home cooked food where she got to go stand in front of the stove and cook, or you ordering cheap fast food.
Well, again, that's why you have to know who you're marrying and understand that, yeah, we go out to eat periodically at high-end restaurants. Not every time we go out. You know, I enjoy going out with my wife and the baby now, going out to eat different spots, different places. You know, in the beginning when we didn't have a baby, we were really able to just go at any time, go to high-end restaurants or whatever. But now that we had this baby, you know, we don't do that as much. Only on different occasions, special occasions. Now we have to target more kid-friendly establishments.
Mhm.
So, you know, but that doesn't mean that we don't still go out to high-end restaurants. We just have to get Nana and Papa to babysit, and we can't stay out as long, or we can't just jump up and go anymore. You know, we were talking earlier that we hadn't even been to a movie in quite a while. You know, and that's something that she and I want to do. But we had to adjust our lifestyle, not our lifestyle, but we had to adjust things that we do or that we've done or that we did based on our situation now. We make more money than we did when we first got together, but with our child, we can't do the things that we wanted to do or want to do. It wasn't nothing for us to jump up and go take a cruise or go to Jamaica or whatever, jump up in the middle of the night and go somewhere. We can't do that now
Right.
because our baby jumps up in the middle of the night. You know, we can't jump in the car and just go cruise at whatever time at night anymore. We can't just go to the gun range and just hang out and do whatever. We can't do that anymore. We had to adjust. And so people have to have realistic expectations that life will happen and prepare for those moments when life does happen. But if you don't love the person that you're with, and if you don't like the person that you're with, and you're not in love with the person that you're with, those life situations that occur will cause you to that cracked foundation to go ahead and break apart.
Well, have you ever married strictly based on love?
My current situation, yes. Now, past relationships, other marriage, then it wasn't entirely based on everything that included the in love. I can say that I loved them, but wasn't in love with them. Hell, half the time I probably didn't even like them. So that's why you have to have all those elements to have a true successful relationship and marriage.
So you've been in relationships where you were married and didn't like the person, just married them because of what it
No,
looked like on
so
paper.
you well, you go into a situation with some heartfelt emotions
Mhm.
and you feel that you love this person and not necessarily that you were in love with them, but you love them, you look good on paper. You feel that your feelings can grow to the point where you can remain with that person to fulfill your marital obligations, but there are things that happen within that relationship sometimes that causes that to erode. So that's why you can't go in with half with the glass half full or the
Yeah.
glass half empty, whichever way you want to look at it. You have to go in with the glass full all the way, damn near about to spill over. Because if you don't have all of those elements in place, then your relationship more than likely would not last. Or you probably won't have a true relationship. Both of you all are there just to exist, and it does become more of a situation where you're there for finances or there for just comfort or companionship.
And most of that comes from when they don't actually love their mate, because we kind of touched up on it.
Not
And
they can love their mate, but they're not in love with their mate. See, people get that those are two
the
separate
love and
things.
in love to the thing. Because I used to hear women tell guys, "I love you, but I'm not, I'm not in love with you."
Yeah. I mean, you can have love for anyone. You can have love for
A
abstract
pet,
things. Yeah.
yeah.
But going
So
being in love with someone means that your whole being is with them. Your whole everything that you have to put into anything is with them. Your
which
heart,
leads me to
your soul, your mind, your emotions of caring, liking, not
but
wanting to hurt.
can't you do that without being married? Can't
You
you have
can.
that just waking up every day,
You
chatting?
can have all that without being married. You can because emotions don't equate to paperwork.
Right. So why do people even push marriage? If I can get the same feeling, the same loyalty, the same respect, just shacking.
Because it comes with a deeper commitment, and people, even myself before, never truly understood the commitment of marriage.
Because I
And
wasn't even getting there.
I know. And then so that document that you sign, and it's really not about the document. It's supposed to be about the covenant that you make before your God.
Right. And
So
the angels and
it's
all
yeah,
that.
it's truly about the covenant that you build with each other or have with each other. That covenant should not be it should be unbreakable. So you can have all those things without signing a document, but the document is what makes it legal, not in the eyes of God, but in the eyes of man. So you have those um, those privileges of a person that is lawfully tied to another person.
Right. But and then lately, and I know you see it 24/7 on social media, it don't favor the man, and that's why a lot of men are not getting married. Don't is not pro marriage because it don't benefit.
It
They look at
it
if you
depends. It
break
depends
up,
on who you
you
marry.
get hey,
You hey
you know,
so Mary J. Blige, she paying out the ass. Faith Evans, she paying out the ass. So it depends on who you marry. And lately, there have been a number of men that regular people that are not in the limelight that have been getting child support, spousal support, uh, out of their relationships or marriage, because in a lot of the cases the woman made more than the man. But then we have to look at who actually gets the child if there's a child in the relationship. So if the mother is the primary custodian, right?
mhm.
Then they're more than likely going to get, the house. They're more than likely going to get the nicer car. They're more than likely going to get uh, the child support and whatever that entails based on your income, depending on what state you're in. So because they have primary care of the child.
Right.
Now, if you're not married, there are no kids in the marriage, then yeah, I mean everything that you've accumulated going into a marriage, then yeah, you split it half. But here's the thing. So whatever you've established prior to the marriage, it's not you don't have to share that 50-50 in a relationship, if you break up in a marriage. So if you were the owner of your home prior to you
The
getting
man.
married, then it's not community property. So it depends on what state you're in again with community property states. So it's not community property. Then the other person has no stake in that home, your 401k, those type of things. So whatever money that was generated after the marriage, for your retirement, then that is eligible to be part of the divorce process. But
Mhm.
anything prior to that, then it's not. So
So it
it,
basically
it
depends on what type of person you marry. Because I've seen divorces where you get what you get, I'm gonna get what I get, and they walk away. Ain't nobody trying to kill each other. You owe me this, and you gonna pay that.
yeah, it all
But a
depends on the
lot of men
person.
have been running because they like marriage do not benefit the man. So
And that's
why do
because
you get married? And
it's
tons
because
of
they don't
men are
understand the
preaching
law.
against marriage.
It's because they don't understand the law and they don't understand how the law works. So the best thing to do is educate yourself. So don't run from a commitment, a lawful commitment, because you're ignorant on the subject, or you're using that, and a lot of people probably are using that as an excuse to not get married. Just like
Drag along.
a dude, yeah. So just like a dude, he was like, I don't do Valentine's Day because it's a man-made holiday. It doesn't mean anything. It's just one day. Okay, so what? Don't make an excuse because you don't want to do on this man-made holiday. Your girl is the only woman in the office that's not receiving anything. You know,
Right.
I mean, I want my woman to feel special whenever and wherever. You know, so I'm not doing it just because everyone else is doing it, but I'm doing it because I want I
To
don't
see
want
a smile on your
her
woman's
to
face.
be left out or seen as different. No, I don't want her to seem left out or seen as being different or loved less, you know, even though I do this 365 days of the year, I'm still gonna take that one day and acknowledge her.
Right.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't hurt me to do that. It only benefits her by putting a smile on her face and in her heart, and that's my goal at the end of the day. And
And
that's
so,
go ahead.
and so when you see the guys on here saying that why even get married in the 21st century? It's not worth it because you don't pay attention to that. You know where it's coming from. He been hurt. He broke. He hurt.
Yeah, it could be a number of reasons, right? But most of the time it's because they've heard somebody else say it, they've seen other relationships fall apart, their relationships have fallen apart, you know, and most of the time that you hear people say that, it's probably from a person that was in a single parent home, or that witnessed their parents getting a divorce. So,
It's usually a reason why they're saying that.
right. Yeah, there's a factor behind why they're saying that. But in today's society, and we'd have to go back years, decades, centuries to see where all of these vows come from, and I mentioned that on.
Yeah, I was thinking
um
about that. The vows. I thought about that
yeah,
earlier today,
yeah,
and I wanted to look that up. Like, where did these so-called the vows come from? Because a lot of people started writing their own that
yeah,
don't include for better off for worse, for richer off for poor. They just say, when I first saw you, you was the best ever. You gave me life. All that old bullshit. But it doesn't say for better off for worse, for richer off for poor. I'm going to take care of you for the rest of your life. They may end it with that, but
well, where it started talking about like our vows for our traditional vows of today, that was tied to the Roman times when they were talking about fidelity and for and and money and those
yeah,
type of things.
medieval, right? The
So
medieval church in England.
so then it started being tied to religion, and that's how the traditional vows became part of the marriage ceremony in today's society. So, and again, now you've been able to make up your own vows, and a lot of people do now because they make them up to fit their individual situation.
Right. And so that means, and a lot of times I saw this on TikTok, uh, a lot of times they do that, say they own vows, so they won't feel like they're betraying the traditional vow. That for rich off for poor, the better sickness and in health. So they didn't say all that. So if they get sick and you want to leave and abandon them, you can. If they lose their job, and this like the case we're talking about, she didn't say that in the vows, so she able to leave. So they it's kind of like I say, interpreting the Bible. Everybody want to pull out what benefits them. So you got thousands of people with their own version of what uh, Matthew 2nd chapter 5th verse is, because everybody gonna read it and gonna try to relate it to what they want it to be in their life.
Right. And and that's why we have so many religions and different denominations. So you're able to again make those vows based on your individual thoughts and feelings and emotions. you know so and then you don't have to, there's nothing that your covenant that you're creating, you know it it doesn't take away from what the covenant is supposed to be, But if your covenant is your vows and you're expressing what that covenant is verbally, then that's what you're committing to. I love her. I met her on a warm summer day. She had on this nice flowy dress, and this is what I fell in love with. And I vowed to love her with all of her beauty and splendor that she's displayed over the years. So you're saying, as long as she's beautiful, you'll love her. That's
Right.
what you're committed to. You've committed to loving her as long as she's beautiful. So as soon as she get ugly,
That's a wrap.
she's broken. Yeah, she's broken the covenant.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's why I say they alter it to what they want. But people, why even go through the extreme of getting paper?
Let's talk about it. Hello, my name is Carla, and restoring healthy mindsets is my thing. Disclaimer, my truth does not mean that it has to be your truth, but I will be sharing my advice since you asked the question. My end goal when I was dating was marriage. Why? Because that little piece of paper is very important in every single aspect. Spiritually, financially, and legally. That little piece of paper can protect you, guard you, and bring you abundance. I know it's going to sound very pessimistic, but talk to any divorce lawyer and tell them you just want to be with your man without a certificate and be with him forever. They will absolutely tell you not to do that. And this isn't to say to only get married for protection. I would hope that you want to get married because you want to get married with the person and because you love them. But isn't that the end goal? To be with the person that you love the most and to be official? It's like when you first start talking, right? You're fighting for that title of girlfriend, right? Because you want to make it official. It's the same thing with marriage. And believe me, when it's the right person, it's not going to feel forced. It's not going to be dreadful. There's not going to be any fear. On the contrary, when you know you found your person, all you receive is peace. Peace to take the next step in your relationship. So in reality, getting married is not a must. It is a choice. And if you're anything like me, I like to make wise decisions. And the wisest decision for me was to get married. And it's also been the biggest blessing of my life.
And so now her thing basically was similar to what you said. The end goal was to be married and to love her person. And like you say, you can't just choose any person that just because y'all cool and say we'll work out in a marriage. And that's what I think is going on with a lot of the marriages today, especially with our race per se. We're with people we like, and because they're there, those may as well marriages, because it's a lot of them. We've been together since high school. We got 2-3 kids together. You ain't going nowhere, I ain't going nowhere, so we may as well get married. Yeah, it's a lot of the may as well. Check out the 3 reasons why men get married.
Men get married for 3 reasons and 3 reasons only. I'm not arguing this. You guys can argue and debate with yourself or others in the comments. It is what it is, and I said what I said. Reason number 1 being the most common, it's because he's ready. He's ready, and he is going to marry the best option in proximity to him when he's ready to get married. For some men, this is them logically analyzing their roster and choosing the option that is the most stable and peaceful to exist with. For some men, their current girlfriend is their only option. They know that and they're ready, so they get married. But ultimately, either way you slice it, it is because he is ready. Number 2 is not as common, but we have seen a recent uptick in these marriages. It's the might as well marriage. This is when a woman successfully guilt trips a man into marrying her because he might as well. This is for the side chick turned main, the main chick that never left, the woman who played the last woman standing game, right? He wouldn't commit to you. He strung you along. This was because he was exploring options he thought were better, but none of them accepted his proposal. So he might as well marry you. Last and least common, coming in at number 3, is love. Love is the least common reason that men get married, but when men do get married for love, this is a very rare and beautiful thing. I say that because they don't have Disney expectations of romance and love. They love you and they are in love with you, and that is not going anywhere. Not with time, not with looks, not with weight, not with sexual activity. That man is willing to commit his life and eternal soul to you in front of God, the universe, the United States government. It's rare. So, yeah, last on the list is love for men.
And so many people just don't marry for love. It's more of a business arrangement today. It's basically, it's business. But like she said, if you do find a couple that marries for love, it's a beautiful thing. And me personally, I'm gonna make sure that I'm comfortable and that I'm able to live the lifestyle that I want to live, where the children, wife, everybody is going to be comfortable with the lifestyle that I want to provide for them. Now, extra income, that just adds to. But yeah, you don't have to make $80,000, $100,000, $200,000. I'm not the one that's chasing, what you have in order for me to be comfortable and for me to provide for the family based on what the woman bring in. Now, here's 3 reasons why women get married, and they kind of mix it together. They feed off each other. The 3 reasons why men get married and the 3 reasons why women get married, they kind of feed off each other.
The number one reason that women get married is undoubtedly delusion, and it's pick-me delusion. And before you guys lose your shit, please understand that the delusion stems from reason number 1 and 2, that men get married. You have to look at the previous video for context, but look at the comments for confirmation. Majority of men in the comments confirmed the number 1 reason they get married is because they were ready and she was the best option in proximity. Majority of women in the comments genuinely believe their husband picked them because of true love. So there's a fundamental disconnect there. Women have this rom-com fairy tale expectation of love and marriage, whereas men are just like, well, she was the best thing shaken, so that's delusional. Number 2 reason men get married is, well, they might as well, right? We discussed this. This is the side chick turned main, the main chick that never left, the 10-year, 3-kid baby mama who was habitually cheated on. It was the last woman standing, right? A lot of these women get married because they believe that marriage is going to change his toxic pattern of behavior, or that it puts them a grade above the other women he used and abused throughout the course of their relationship. It's just a very pick-me mentality. But that's not any shade towards married women, because essentially you can only pick from the men who pick you. So in order for you to be married, you gotta be picked. Reason number 2 that women get married is money. And I'm not talking about gold digging, so y'all can pipe down in the comments. When gold diggers marry, they marry up for money and or status. So measuring up a man's financial capacity is a logical thing to do when you're talking about building a life and or a family. The 3rd and least common reason that women get married is true love. It's the same for women that it is for men, but it's the same for women because of men. And this is really going to bring everything full circle. Men have already confirmed the number 1 reason they get married is because they're ready and she's the best option in proximity. Reason number 2 is they might as well. This is why the number one reason women get married is delusion. They think they're getting married for true love, and they're delusional enough to believe that that man picked them for true love, or that the man they truly love is going to change with marriage. But either way, the reason women aren't marrying for true love is because the men they're marrying don't truly love them. And true love is a two-way street. Otherwise, it wouldn't be true. It's reciprocated. There are no falsehoods or agendas associated with it. It is two people who truly love each other and commit their life to each other. So a lot of women believe they're marrying for true love, or absolutely would choose true love as the primary reason they get married, but it's just not a luxury us women have, right? We have to pick from the pool of men that pick us, and more often than not, true love is not the reason that they're picking us. So with that being said, true love comes in again at the bottom of the list for reasons why people are getting married.
I'm like, damn, she makes modern day dating seems miserable. You know what I'm saying? It's like in the movies, 80s, the 80s relationship, they were literally marrying because of love. The modern day, what you bring into the table. Marriage is a business, and it should be viewed as a business in modern day society.
Kind
You
of like
can't
the
live
church.
off love. You can't live off love. The love don't pay bills.
No. I'm not going to put myself in a situation again where I'm unhappy and living in a situation because look good on paper and we make good money together. That's not for me. That's not happiness for me.
So you prefer, and there is another one that says the relationships that are based on true love literally last the longest. But the relationships that's built on business, they seem to say they tend to be a little bit more happier. And maybe that's because of the lifestyle. I don't know.
Well, I mean, depends on what you're happy with. So if you're happy just making money, then that's your happiness. But when you're accustomed to, I'm not saying having money, but not having to struggle because you make decent money by yourself, then, you know, that, that doesn't, money's not a factor to me. I could always use more of it, but it's not a factor in my relationship or my marriage.
Okay, let me ask you this, because I know that you took your time with this one. Okay, your mind was made up. You did your trials, you tried your tribulations, you did your experiments with the previous relationships. If you were to get in a situation where your money
Got funny?
got funny, we're short. Now that the baby is here and you're in a this is my final marriage relationship, how much would you beat yourself up because you can't keep providing what you were providing before your incident happened, whether you hurt your back, whether workman's comp, whether the company shut down and it's taking you 2 months to get with another established company. How much would that depress you? Would that make you feel less of a man, which make you, because your personality keeps the house going. You see what I'm saying? And I can tell by listening to you guys that she's affected when you're not at your best, when you're not the James that's coming around with the joke, with the corny ass jokes and being yourself. She can sense that. And I got a feeling that it probably messes with her mood. So if you can't wake up every morning feeling good about yourself because you don't have the job you want, you don't have the funds you want, are you with that person who can literally, and don't just say this for the podcast, will you beat yourself up if you couldn't be that guy that you were a month ago before your incident that caused you not to make the money provide as you once were? Will you
Yeah, I mean,
beat yourself up?
I would beat myself up. I would, but that just comes from my personality. That just comes from me being me. I
Right.
mean, if you know, like I'm in a class now, and I dropped from number 16 in the class to number 39 in the class. And although I have all these things around me that's saying that, you know, you're still doing good based on your circumstances, I'm still beating myself up because I'm not number one in the class, you know, and that's just me because I want to be the best at whatever I do in any situation. So, and that comes along with my marriage. If I couldn't be a great dad to this little girl that's screaming in the background, then, you know, that would bother me. If I can't be a great husband to this woman that's, you know, back here playing with this little girl that's screaming in the background, then I would beat myself up because that's just me, you know.
But that would
And
make you feel less of a man because you know what happened, right? You
yeah,
know how
it's
to
not
get
gonna
out
it's
of
not
that.
gonna make me feel less of a man, and she's not gonna make me feel less of a man. See, that's the thing, you know, your significant other making you feel less
Mhm.
than because, you know, we've been in situations where I've been down and she's been down, not because of money or anything of that nature, but just because of different
Circumstance.
circumstances that were
Right.
happening in our lives. And I can tell when she's bothered, she can tell when I'm bothered, and you know, it angers me sometimes that I can't lift her up sometimes, and the same for her because we always want to be that lifter for each other.
Yeah.
So, and
Now,
if you don't have that in your relationship, then you know you don't have a good relationship.
and you know, I wasn't used to that, and I'm used to handling everything on my own. And so when I'm the wife that I'm with, the wife, um, she used to always try to comfort me and saying things gonna be okay, and you know, and I was like, that used to really piss me off because
That
I'm
used to be the
more of a,
worst thing you could say to me. Yeah.
yeah, that it's gonna be okay. But you know, and it's kind of off the record, but you know, I was told that when one of the biggest devastations happened, you know, to me, that he was gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I think it was what, about 2, 3 in the morning, I found out that it wasn't okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I never forget that night. You know, he actually visited me on the side of my bed. I don't know if I told you about that, but he came and he explained everything to me. But the last words mom them said was, "It's gonna be okay. He gonna be all right." And I didn't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
but that's like you say, that's their way of trying to lift us up. And so I had to look at that as that. And when you find that mate, because what people not understanding today, a good mate is very, 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 very hard to find. Look at Lil
It is.
Cuddy. It's very hard to find. And people taking advantage, but I'm thinking it's gonna change. But right now, people taking advantage of uh the good relationships because they're sold on this these false narratives that they can just jump up and find anybody. You know, hey, what you won't do, another man will. That shit worked in the 80s and 90s, maybe 70s, probably all the way up to 2000. But you won't do another one, will? Y'all can't say that. Women can't say that shit.
No, they can't.
That ain't no hellified quote now, and I ain't trying to knock nobody. That's just real. They don't. The men of today been through so much hell, so much turmoil, been through so much hurt, so much pain. They got trust issues now. They don't trust nobody because the one woman they gave their life to messed around. They found out the baby wasn't theirs. Just so much going on where men just don't trust women. So if you and vice versa, women don't trust men. So if you have that person that you say and that we say all the time, if you have that person, it's best you hold on to them now. And then, like you say, the ones who selling that marriage is just a piece of paper that we don't need to be on because you're letting the government into our business. That's an excuse not to marry that woman. And I'm beginning to believe that. But people, he say, check this one out.
Marriage is not just a piece of paper. It doesn't matter if you had a fancy wedding or if you just went down to the courthouse. But one thing I can assure you, it is not just a piece of paper. See, people try to say, I don't need to be married to be joined with you or to show that I'm committed, but you do. Because when that piece of paper doesn't exist, it's easy to walk away when times get hard. When there's a ceremony involved or that piece of paper, the both of you are making an oath to each other that through good and bad, through sickness and in health, I will be there. It requires you to at least fight. That's why that piece of paper is important. That's why marriage is important. If you're looking at being married as just a piece of paper, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
And and at first, because I wasn't a fan of marriage. That's how I looked at it. Why do we need? And I was preaching this to. Why do you need a piece of paper? We know right now we love each other. We already helping each other out. We doing what we can for each other. You got my back, I got your back. So why in the hell we got to go down the damn aisle, spend $30,000-$40,000, and then we still doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have sex. You're going to go to movies. Y'all going to buy each other stuff. Y'all going to lift each other up. So why get that piece of paper? And I was so sold on I was not going to get married that everybody I talked to, that was my goal. When they started looking Google eyes after a year or so of being together, I'm like, man, why we got to get married? You know what I'm saying? There ain't no but piece of paper. You put the government in our business. You know what I'm saying? I was a firm believer of that. But then you was going on, meeting people, walking down the aisle. I'm like, man, that dude's crazy because they're just a piece of paper. And then if he gotta ask to get out of it. Then when he get out of it, he gonna lose some shit. So why even get in it? And that was my mentality, man. From I'm gonna say 25 until I got married. Till I got married, because you used to be on the phone trying to explain to me the value of a marriage, and I'm still sitting there like I don't get it. All I know is you're gonna lose some shit, and y'all still gonna sleep around and have each other back, live together like you would, just like I'm doing shacking. I just ain't obligated. I can walk out at any time and don't know nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And I agree with him to a point, but if you're not with the person that you're supposed to be with, then it's still just a piece of paper. Because
now,
if you're not with your person, then it doesn't matter it's not going to make you fight any harder to be in a marriage. It's going. You're going to just walk down, sign some papers, or electronically sign, DocuSign, whatever you do, and it's over with. So if you don't, go ahead.
That lady said when she was saying that when a guy married, it's because he's ready. You know what I'm saying? He wants to. Okay. But she also said they marry the woman that's in their
closest
proximity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means a lot of them are not marrying the person who they really want to marry, or the person they're in love with. They're marrying who is there, who has been there. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's the reason why a lot of the marriages are jacked up, or is no real emotional connection to that person or that marriage, that relationship, because it's not the person that they really wanted to marry in the first place. I'm going with Tina, but I like or the person that I haven't had that closure with, or the person I was really in love with, was Donna. But I've been here with Tina 3-4 years now. She done had my back, but shit, every chance I get my mind, I dream and think about Donna. And so okay, well, I ain't getting no younger. We done made a child together. She done been here for me when I couldn't do nothing. She nursed me back to health. So I might as well marry her. So that falls into that may as well. And then they are quicker to walk away. And so that's what I think is going on. They're marrying people that's not their person per se. You know.
And I mean, and let's be real, women are doing that too. And the woman that was talking about true love and all that stuff, and women think that they're falling for a person because getting married to this person, it was because of true love. That's not true. I don't believe that. A woman knows. A woman knows what she's getting into, just like a man knows what he's getting into. You can sit up here and you can put all the words out here all the most beautiful words that you want to say to a person, and do all these things, but deep down inside, you know who you're getting when you get them.
Yeah. And I have some people that I'm dealing with now that's going through some major shit. I mean, they love each other, but they're going through some, they hitting some rocks, some hard spots. But the love is there. And I feel like their issue is lack of communication. So I feel like if you love that person, they got married, I DJ'd the wedding, you know what I'm saying? And I just hate to see people who I know love each other drifting apart. And it's a simple, let's stop and talk. But they both bullheaded, and they're not gonna. One needs to just wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm not gonna. I'm gonna be the bigger person, and I'm gonna call you in here and say, hey, let's have a talk. Where are we going?
It doesn't always work like that.
Damn.
I mean, I used to say, man, I hate that such and such broke up. I hate that you're, getting a divorce. But that's probably the best thing for you, and you don't even realize it. So I stopped saying that. I say, if it got to that point where you are getting a divorce, whether your fault, her fault, whoever fault, no one's fault, then it's probably the best thing for you, because that's not your person. If you get to that point, that's not your person.
Yeah.
If you allow it to even get close to that, where you're even speaking of divorce, that's not your person.
But just imagine, though, you got two people that think they're right.
It doesn't matter.
Wants to be wrong.
It doesn't matter. I think I'm right all the time. My wife feel like she right all the time. But we don't get into it like that, because it doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong, because we don't keep record of that. So we meet in the middle. We compromise on whatever it is.
Yeah. So you feel like once they're compromising, and once the meeting halfways and all that is not willing to take place, that is pretty much, we need to go on our separate way, because you don't care enough about that person.
You are not in love. You are not in love with that person. You may love them, but you're not in love with that person, because you're okay with being wrong. You're okay with not winning. You're okay with 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 whatever that you feel is the most important, not
Yeah,
being the most important. If that makes sense,
yeah.
you're okay with that. You people talk about your wife submitting to you and all that good stuff, but you have to submit to your wife also, in certain aspects
Because
and in certain cases, because it
we were
doesn't
gonna
work just one way.
go over there, and try to, what I'm saying, see if we can spark something. But from what you're saying, and they are pretty far gone, you know. Uh,
The best thing that you can do is ask them, how can you help them move?
And like I said, and I listen to you because you've been there so many times, and you know what I'm saying.
Dude, I
Uh,
mean, I made a number of mistakes. Dang, I
right,
forgot to call my son. I made a number of mistakes, and and that's what I tell my boys. I've made so many mistakes that you don't have to make them. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk.
right.
Talk to me. So I've been there. I've done that. I've done just about everything under the sun. You know.
And like if they're struggling with something and you're not willing to help them, that love is gone. That's pretty much a wrap. Y'all just together.
Yeah.
You don't want them, and then you don't want nobody else to have. Y'all in that situation, and it's gonna take the bigger person to say, "Let me stop wasting your time. You stop wasting my time. We're not getting any younger,"
They
and walk
might as
away.
well they might as well play that song by Gladys Knight and the Pips. No one wants to be the first to say goodbye.
Yeah, I hate that, man. Because they was kind of, they were cool people, but yeah, they hitting some fucking spots, and nobody want to be the one who say, "Baby, let's talk." And and I used to be like that until I got in the relationship I'm in now. I was like that because I'm like, she know what she doing, and if she don't, and then it turns into a tit for tat. If she stay out till 12, I'm gonna stay out till 2. You know, uh,
Yeah.
and that don't solve nothing. And that's what they're doing
Yeah.
because that lack of communication. And then when I got in this, because I was so messed up in the head because of listening to the older men that I listened to when I was 19 years old, they 18 to 19, they ruined me mentally on women, relationships. I got dogged out on that. And so I didn't trust nothing. Trust issues. I didn't believe in being the first one. I don't believe in that. Didn't believe in that. I'm sorry shit. It was like, what you're doing. And so if that's how you want to do, I'm gonna do that. And it's a game, and I play to win. And so that was my mentality. So okay, so you want to text Joe? Okay, then I'm gonna text Sarah. Joe, a co-worker, and I feel like you shouldn't be texting him after hours. But instead of saying that, I'm gonna start making a conversation with Sarah after hours. Hey, what you over there doing?
And
What
see,
you
and,
doing
and
Friday night?
and see, when it becomes a game like that, a game of hurt, a game of pain, who can hurt the other person more, then you don't care. You don't care. You
Right.
don't you don't you can stop saying that you love that person because love doesn't hurt. You know.
No, no,
So,
Ralph Tresbank got a song called "Love Hurt."
yeah, I know Ralph made that lie up, but a song that lie, but love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't have to hurt. Being in love doesn't have to hurt. People always talking about, in love you struggle, but you don't have to struggle in love. You don't have to struggle with love.
But being in love gave us our first heartache,
Well, that's a
and
part of
and, and
life.
that's why I ran from it for 100 years because of that heartache. That wasn't a good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's a part of life. And all that means is that when you're a person, you had to go through some things in order to get where you are now. They- Uh, to get where you are now. So, and if you didn't go through that heartache and that pain, then you may not be in the situation that you're in now, where you're actually in love and knowing what true love feels like.
Yeah.
So, you know, if
I
you,
mean,
yeah, I mean, if you just stayed in the house all the time under the air conditioner and never know what the sun felt like, then
you could survive in the heat.
you wouldn't know what you wouldn't know what you enjoy the most.
And until you get in certain situations, like growing up, Can You Stand the Rain was just a good
Song,
slow down by New
yeah.
Edition. It was number one. We played it over and over. But I never really listened to the words of that song until you actually get in a real relationship. Like I started studying the words and actually listening to what they were singing about probably about 5 years ago. I knew what he was saying. I liked the hook, need somebody who stand by me. But the Can You Stand the Rain mean when you lose your job, when the chips are down, so to speak, when ain't shit going right, you're almost in foreclosure. Will that person still be by your side? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, that's what they were saying, and it had to be somebody grown who wrote that song because them brothers was in their teens. So I'm thinking it was either Jam and Lewis or Babyface, but I'm thinking that was Jam and Lewis. But Can You Stand the Rain? That's a deep song when you going through it, when you with your person, when you're married. Can you stand the rain? It ain't for nobody who just dating and shacking.
Mm-hmm.
That's for when you in love. You need somebody who's gonna stand by you in good times and bad times. They always be right there. And from what we're seeing in today's times, especially with the situation with with the woman leaving her husband because he lost his job, she can't stand the rain. When she don't want to stand the rain, she not his person. You see what I'm saying? And those songs are deep. And lately I've been going back listening to those songs because they mean something. Like communication. The perfect song for communication is Atlantic Star, If Your Heart Isn't In It.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were saying, if your heart isn't, why didn't you just tell me so? And I was saying this to the couple that I'm talking about. I was just saying that communication. He can tell me and she can tell the wife what's going on 24/7. But if y'all not talking to each other,
Yeah, and
you know what I'm saying?
if y'all not in it with each other, you know, my wife and I, we were traveling somewhere and we were listening to the 70 station, and we were listening to Me and Mrs. Jones came on, and um it's another one where he was like, we've been meeting at the same place at the same time.
Right.
You got your
Same
own
thing.
obligations. Yeah, that one. And
Yeah.
I was like, babe, they're talking about letting go of their side women. And she was like, no, for real? I was like, yeah. I said, you have to if you listen to these to the lyrics and to what they're saying, they're talking about letting go their side pieces because they have their spouses at home that they're obligated to. So, a lot of those songs had a lot of meaning back in the day,
That we
and
didn't pay no attention to.
yeah,
Now parents was listening to them.
right, that we didn't pay any attention to. But with knowledge, growth, and age comes wisdom. Along with mistakes that you've made, rights, wrongs that you've righted, and rights that you've wronged. You know, so those things take on a different meaning. You know, so cheating in the next room, been there, done that. You know,
Yeah.
so
And I guess when you done been there, done that, and we've been there, done that at a young age. So, and then I was talking to our old co-host on here, the host, and I was telling him how on here you had brought up that you matured, a lot faster, than I did as far as when it came to women. You know what I'm saying? Because I still was like, let's go, let's go chase, let's get this, let's get that. And you start slowing down and was trying to be in relationships. And I used to be mad, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the D. I'm ready to go turn up at a concert or club, and your ass staying at home with the woman. I'm like, Disney, yeah, But even growing up, you wouldn't hang with the crew. You would give us a night or two, but majority of your nights was with who you were dating. So you kind of, when it came to being with women, you kind of matured a little bit because you knew how to spend that time. We wasn't, Nard and I didn't want to think about it. We don't spend time, we get time. Hey man, what you doing tonight? If I tell him I ain't got nothing to do, okay, well, I'm gonna be with Felicia. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, hey man, what we got up for tonight? We checked with each other first to see what we had up. Your ass was instantly like, hey man, I'm be over Cold House night, so I'll call you when I get back home. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm looking at the clock, 11 o'clock hit, 12 o'clock hit, shit, I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah. The thing is, I had to identify where that came from too, and
where did it come from?
That came from not seeing a true established relationship at a young age, and so I was trying to create something that I hadn't seen, and that was two people being connected in a relationship. So I had my reality of two people not being connected in a relationship, but I saw something different. So I wanted something different. So I tried to connect in that way. And so that's where all that came from.
Yeah, because I mean, man, look, you used to turn down some turned up parties, right? To go over there. And then we'll tell you about it, who all was there, what we saw. It was like that morning when I still remember, I called you that morning about maybe 9, maybe 10 o'clock. And I'm telling you everybody who was there, who I saw, who was looking for you, who asked about you. And you be like, damn, I hate I missed that. But you was dedicated to being over there, And you lied, she ain't asked about me. She did, so I didn't know why you was doing that. I just know. And then when Cool It Now came out and Rap Trash Band was like, tonight I want to be with my girlfriend. I was like, man, that is you 24/7. You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, we're gonna go here. Then we're gonna hit the movies. We're gonna go to the mall. Your ass like, nah, I'm gonna be over here with Nicole, man. I'm like,
But yeah, wasted years.
Your ass would say, come over there on our way out to pick you up. And I remember sitting in the driveway blowing, up. And then you'll come out the house, hey man, y'all go ahead and go. I was like this, But man, those was the damn days. But yeah, you was lover boy. I used to call you the lover boy. And so man, you was in the house. But for better or for worse. So it's hard these days, man. And I'm just glad that I don't have to go through what this new generation and the new dating rules, the poly that they're dealing with, the you can't trust them, social media, then messed up the relationships of old for the ones who feed into it. You know what I'm saying? And it's out there. It's out there. I mean, it's out there. You still have a few. Now, when I'm on the book or when I'm doing the Instagrams, I see one or two women in their 30s that's but they were brought up in a good household. You know, the mom who was kind of strict on them, they want the marriage. But the ones who the mom just let run loose, they talk down on marriage. You know, and then the fellas that got burnt out because they looking at what happened to Kobe and everybody else. You wasn't with him shooting in the gym. And she got overhead. So it's not a positive thing for men. If you have, like you said, though, once I said that earlier, you said they chose the wrong person. Because I feel like in my relationship, if something were to happen and we didn't work out, I don't see no she trying to drain every dime I got and the alimony stuff. I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's like, because we're going to talk and it's going to be like, hey, it just didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to make sure I'm doing all that I need to do and that I can do, because it took a minute for me to get here. And now that I'm here, I know how to do it. But that never was a thing that I thought I'd ever do. Even when my sister heard that I was married and all that, she was like, what? You know, the whole family was like, man, we never thought, you know, and even my close friends was like, man, we can't believe this, because I was so anti. Man, you don't need to do that. Never, ever, ever do that. And then when I did it, everybody was like, man, what happened? But like you say, when it's your person, it's a different, you know what I'm saying? Everything's different. It's different. Yeah, and you would know. And a lot of people not finding their person, they're just being with the ones that's in their proximity. And those are the ones they're choosing to try to marry and be with. We may as well. We got 2 kids together. We may as well. We've been living together for 5 years, going on 6. We may as well. Instead of them, if you have to put we may as well, that's not your person.
Nope.
Majority of the time, that's not your person. Well, we may as well do it. We ain't getting no younger. You ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. So we might as well just go and get married. Shit, you been here 15 years, 13 years. So shit, we might as well get married.
We might as well do it. Do it.
Bro, you
ain't that what Jagged Edge said?
That's what they said. May as well. Ain't getting no younger, so we may as well do it. So, but yeah, I just feel like they write their own vows because they don't want to do the for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, sickness and in health. I also know women and men that bailed out once that person got sick. I know somebody right now that went through a tragic health scare, and his significant other turned his back on him. We witnessed that when we would see Granddad taking an hour and a half just to go to the kitchen to get him something to drink, holding on to the walls in the hall, walking up there. Didn't want us to help him either, you know.
Yep.
But we witnessed that. Yeah, me too. We witnessed that. So it's out there, and that was back in the gap. But what a lot of women do when they've been together that long, the woman gonna hold stuff in the back of her head, man. And when that man get down, or vice versa, but mostly when the man get down, that woman, and we about to close this out. But the scene in Color Purple, where she had to shave him, that scene was in there for a reason. They were showing us how our women think when they have to help us out. You did this, you did that, and now you need me to help you.
Right.
And she was thinking about slicing his, his throat, and that's where it is. But I just don't believe that today they honor vows because relationships are all over the place. You can't trust. So with that being said, we about to dock this ship. What's your final thoughts on the topic of the night before you get out of here? Or is it for richer or for poor? Is it for better or for worse? Sickness and in health? Or is it just for what we got going on right now? It's financial, and soon as you can't provide like you once provided, it's over. That broke the vow, and I get to go sleep with whoever I want to sleep with.
Well, again, like I say, getting ready to end it. I need to end with this. If you are not with your person, it's going to be revealed. And if you go ahead and marry that person, and it's a might as well, or this is going to stop me from doing this. This is going to keep me out the streets. This is going to keep me from cheating. This is going to keep me from whatever. Then it's still not going to end well, because taking whatever vows you choose and signing a document doesn't change who you are. The person that you with makes you change to be the person that you need to be to make the relationship or marriage last. So if you're a person that used to walking away, then just marrying someone or just committing yourself in writing by law is not going to stop you from being that. But if you get with a person that you truly love and that you're truly in love with, then that's going to stop you from walking away or moving on without cause or even for cause. So you have to be with who you're supposed to be with.
And if that's just not your person, that's just not your person. Leave it alone. Move on.
If it's not your person, it's not your person. Call it a day. Thank them for the experience and the lessons learned, and go on to find who you're supposed to be with. And sometimes the person you're supposed to be with is just yourself, and you have to come to that realization.
Damn, awesome. Threw y'all on the bus. Said, fuck it, just be by yourself. Stay lonely.
No, it's not being lonely, because if I wouldn't have gotten back with the person that I was supposed to be with, I would have been by myself, but I wasn't going to be alone, and I wasn't going to be lonely. I was just going to have people to fill certain time slots.
In and out, a revolving door. Yeah. Because that's how, like I said, that was a life I thought I was going to live, because I wasn't with that marriage.
And plus, I don't mind being by myself. I love me.
Yeah.
I love spending time with me.
That was my issue too. I was like, for what? So with that being said, you pretty much summed it up. We about to dock it and get up out of here. So when Drake said take him out the trap, that wasn't his person. He just wants somebody to rescue him.
Right. And he gonna be right back in the trap, because what he was talking about was just being trapped and nothingness.
Take me out the club. Take me out the trap. Take me out the market. You know what I'm saying? He trying to breach that. But with that being said, we out. It's been a pleasure, man. What's next week? What we got next week? We're gonna come with another topic next week. Because I did the hip hop. So it's gonna be back to first.
Right.
So yeah, it's all to the good. We out. Speak On It podcast 2K24. We appreciate everybody who checked it out, watched the replay, and we about to get out of here. All right, Austin. Until next time, what we always say,
it's happening, so we might as well speak on it.
And with that, we out of here. We always say, peace.
What you think, man?
I've been in the polyamory love style. I can't even say lifestyle because it's not a lifestyle. It's a way of loving, not a way of living. I've been polyamorous for about 10 years now. Okay. And the mindset for me is mentally, I think I've been polyamorous longer than actually practicing it because I've always felt that this like monogamy just doesn't fit for me. Right. I don't understand why I have to only love one person or why I can only show affection for one person. Where is this written? Why do I have to go along with what the societal standard supposedly is?
Right.
And then
the problem comes when you love somebody too much. When you let yourself love somebody too much,
and they don't love you the same.
It's not even matter whether they love you back or not. They can love you back, but it's still unhealthy to love somebody that much. Which I understand that ideology of that. Well, I can't have. I might as well. I've been there. I know that. But at the same time, you have to realize, what your culpability is in a relationship going, however it went. You start thinking about, well, damn, I did this. So, you can love somebody too much. And then, see, this complicates things for us men because we already have a hard time forming those emotional attachments. You already told don't do this.
The missing link to that goes back to a time before we were even thought. Why doesn't my father is that a protection for me?
Right.
Or is that the way he was raised? Or maybe somebody hugged him one day, a man hugged him. I'm not saying this is what happened, but I'm just saying we got
but there are things that could have happened that absolutely that caused him to be the way he is.
Made him feel weird, needed.
Right.
So the things that we think are sometimes a rejection or a lack may have been a protection.
And most of the time they are like absolutely. But if we don't understand that, all we know is the rejection.
You see, like what I understand with my father,
men were going to jail, killing each other, and then now we got bisexual, then we got gays, now we got transgender. So with all of that going on, the purpose of that was removing the black man, the black male from the household. Okay? So with him not being in the household, she's getting the welfare, or she's out there in the workforce, forced to take care of herself, and if she have children, to take care of the children alone. Whether he's in jail, whether he's dead, whether he's bisexual, whether he's gay, whatever. The black male was removed from the home, and black woman was forced to provide for the children, for herself.
You're missing one other thing that removes black male from the home. That's white women. Because after a while, it was run on black men, white women. Yeah, white women. At one point, black men, they just had to have a white woman. No matter what their social economical status was, white women was the way to go. And so that pulled a lot of black men out of the house.
Damn, I sure missed that. I mean, I know Rick James, I know, you did it. I just didn't think of that as a major absence of the black man. So
being a provider means so many things.
Right.
It means put you in a house. It means I got your back. It means we're doing this together. It means I'm not going to walk away when things get hard. That's providing, right? I'm going to provide emotional protection so that you can, I'll be present for you when you don't feel like you can be there for yourself or whatever, so there's so much more definition to the thing, right? And even on the flip side, looking at, the men with kids, right? I remember I did not want a man who had kids. And I was about 25 when I met my ex-husband.